So as you guys probably know, I used to raise ducks here on our farm, but sadly as of a couple years ago, well, a year and a half ago, they passed away due to a coyote. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my best recommendations for keeping your chickens with your ducks peacefully. I haven't made a duck video in 11 months and I figured, well, just why not do it? Because, well, why not? So without any further ado, let's begin. First of all, we got to talk about the big differences between chickens and ducks. Most people think it's actually quite simple. You just throw in your ducks, but here is exactly what you should be expecting to know. And first of all, we need to know the differences. Like, this is one of the biggest things. And I'm not talking about physical differences. I'm just talking about the differences as to how they use the yard and what they really need. Your chickens and ducks should be in different coops. I will say that. If you're going to keep chickens and ducks in the same yard, at least have another coop out there. Because chicken coops don't have everything ducks need. Ducks don't really need as much as chickens do for a coop. Like, really, all you need to do is just build a small area for them to sleep in. And just, you know, and they don't really need like any nesting boxes or any roost bars, because as you guys know, ducks don't really need a roost that high. So that means that you don't really have to focus a lot on the interior of this coop. So it doesn't have to be some crazy luxury interior that your chickens need. All it really needs is a floor that you can add some shavings or some straw onto. Another thing that ducks really do is they love making messes out in this yard. Chickens, they'll make a mess, but very rarely. Ducks, you'll find a brand new mess every time you walk out here. It's like if I'm just walking out here right now and there was ducks out here, there'd be a mess down here. And in the winter, we sometimes get a lot of rain here. When that happens, what I notice is that my ducks dig their bills. They don't have beaks, they have bills, which is a little bit different. It's when their beak basically is a little bit round at the edge. So if they can't bite you, they make this like weird motion. I don't really know how to explain it, but if you've been around a duck, you know what I'm talking about. Unless it's geese, they know how to actually bite you. But ducks, not so much. So they do that motion. They dig like little 3-inch deep holes in the ground, and they put those all over the yard. And it looks like a weird phenomenon until you look out and see, oh, that's just your ducks doing that. That happened to me like 2 years ago. So always remember that ducks do a lot of strange things in your yard. But don't worry about crossbreeding, because chickens and ducks do not do that, like, at all. You can't really crossbreed these two different things together because of their genetics. You can't really do that. So thankfully you don't have to worry about that. But you may have to worry about some aggression, which I'll talk about right now. Now, do you remember how I just said that ducks don't really bite that hard? Well, not if it's against chickens. They'll bite. Well, not really bite, but their feathers are a lot easier to pull off. Like, the way that the duck's bill is shaped, it makes it pretty simple for them to tear off feathers. And although it doesn't hurt, it is a little bit of aggression, because chickens have this thing called a pecking order. Ducks have it, it's not just as significant, and ducks can generally peacefully coexist. There's just one duck that's obviously the leader of the group, and once that leader gets taken out, you know, the ducks don't really care. With the chickens, they'll be fighting for weeks after a leader gets taken out by a predator. So it is best to know that. The chickens think they're going to be part of the pecking order, so they're going to fight like that is the case. Ducks, they'll rip some feathers off, and they will show some aggression, but generally ducks are a little bit too big to fly, so they're not going to, like, you know, fly away when the chickens are angering them a little bit too much. That's not something you should be more concerned about. What you should be more concerned about, however, is going to be the fighting that could possibly result in injury, because ducks are, as I said, significantly bigger than chickens. And now we got some things that your chickens and ducks really need separate and together. Their food. There should be two separate things. Although it is okay for ducks to eat chicken food and vice versa, generally you want to keep them separate. So you want to keep the chicken food on one side of the yard and the duck coop, like, generally either near their chicken coop or sometimes even in the chicken coop. I mean the duck coop, for one particular reason. Chickens think that duck food is a treat, so they'll go out there and they'll go remove all the duck feed before the ducks can even get to them, because chickens are very, very petty. Like, if I not give these guys treats, they're gonna request interest for that, because chickens are crazy like that. They're very petty, let's just say that. So they'll take the duck feed if you're giving them too much attention, or just if they want to go grab, you know, a little quick treat. However, you can keep the waters next to each other. You just might need to invest in a bigger waterer. Same thing with a pool. You can keep that in the yard. Chickens know better than to use that. The ducks, they don't really need a massive pool. Like, you know, a little tiny kiddie pool is going to do the trick. But the chickens aren't that dumb. You know, the chickens don't have brains the size of my puppy's brain. Who, I think my chickens are actually smarter than my puppy at this point. Who happens to be a German Shepherd too. which makes things even crazier. But here's the interesting thing. The chickens know how to not go into the pool, so that's really good on their part. Now that we found out the perfect way to integrate ducks into your yard, what duck video do you want to see me make next? Because I'm going to be releasing a duck documentary sometime in early 2025, and I want to see your feedback on the series before we even get to there. I'll be posting like 1 to 2 of these a month beforehand leading up to it, so be sure to click the like and subscribe button. You know, click the video on the screen right now if you want to see another duck video that's interesting, even though it's like over a year old. I'll see you guys in that one. Bye.